Right. So, we have approximately 30 minutes before the next game. I'm going to throw you onto the break scene because I need to run to the store. I need food and caffeine before we get into our third place playoff and grand final. So I'm going to run to the store now. I'm going to put you on the beer back scene. I'll be back before the game starts. Don't worry, I'll be here. But for now, see you guys soon, right? Be right back. Hello. I have eaten. I have downed an energy drink. I am still freezing cold. But our third place playoff is about to begin in about 5 minutes between RESIN and CL. Oh, it's so cold. Right, anyway, yes. So, give me a minute, I've just bloated myself up by eating. I ate a burger, I ate 2 sandwiches, I ate an entire packet of Dairy Milk buttons, I downed a relentless energy drink, and I started nibbling my way through a packet of Mite crisps, and then I realised the game is due to start in 5 minutes. So, let's get the picks and bans up. As you can see, RESIN banning Petropavlovsk, Brisbane, Minotaur, and Marseille, along with their Faroe Islands map ban. They'll be representing North America. CL representing China. I'm going to be banning out Utrecht, Gdansk, Brisbane, and Napoli, along with Northern Waters. And let's have a look what these teams are playing for. So, that's not important. Anyway, so these teams are playing for a grand total of $7,500 US. Loser goes home with $5,000. So $2,500 on the line in this game. Not bad for 5 games, you know what I mean? Split between your team, that's a fair amount of money. It's nothing to sniff at. It's free money. Free money! Yay! Oh. Oh, I'm so cold. Oh. My body's like... I think that the really, really cold energy drink I just drank is like fighting with my insides who are trying to warm up. So I like got this I'm very cold on the inside, warm towards the middle, and then cold on the outside again. And it's like trying to equalize the temperature. Oh. Well, anyway. So let's take a look at how our teams got here. We'll only be looking at the international bracket. I don't have. Oh, actually, you know, there's a spreadsheet. Do I have the spreadsheet still? There was a sheet. Let's see if we can find the sheet. We'll go through how they did in internationals, and we'll see if we can find the sheet. Website. Interact. Alright, we're looking for CL and RESIN. Looks like they were both in the other bracket. Alright, RESIN. So, on the Swiss stage, they went 2-1. So they've already played CL. Oh, interesting. They played them in the Swiss stage. So on... Oh, we don't have the maps, but it looks like these are relatively close games. But they already played them. That's fascinating. Ah, yes. KotS NA player, yes. Well, that is actually fascinating. Well, that's good to know, isn't it? So, yeah. Good to know. Well, other than that, CL also played... let's go through CL first. They played against RESIN in their first game, lost 2-1. They then played against Pucky, going 2-0, then playing against 3XA, going 2-0, then going 2-1 against RNG, advancing them through the Swiss stage with a 3-1 record. Next up, they played against QTDD, going 3-1 over them, then going 3-1 over Throw, and then going losing 3-2 against ARIS in the series that we just watched. Meanwhile, for RESIN, obviously taking that 2-1 victory over CL, then losing 2-0 to RNG, going 2-0 over Ortus, losing 2-0 against Ortus, And then taking 2-0 against Pucky, advancing them with a 3-2 record. They then played off against YYUT, taking them down 3-2. And remember, YYUT were the ones who took down TWA. RESIN then went 3-1 over Moyai and then lost firmly 3-0 against TWA. Yeah. Well, let's take a look at our training room. See while the players are all coming in. As you see, everybody is getting ready. What's this? I want to see some of these copy pastas unofficial. I want the copy pasta. I fought for the copy pastas. Baz is fantastic. Yeah. I fought for those. I fought for those copy pastas to be allowed. I fought for them. Anyway, dropping. We are dropping into game 1 of the third place game. As soon as I can find my OBS. Here we are in game 1 of the third place playoff. King of the Sea 18. Green team, the North Spawn, representing North America, will be RESIN. We're running Bungo, Kremlin, Moscow, Sphere, Prince on Orange, Shimakaze, Delny, and Z42. As I get the last of these crisps out of my mouth. My apologies. Meanwhile, in red, representing China, and the Southern Spawn here on North. They're going to be running Kremlin, St. Vincent, Des Moines, Salem, Prince on Orange, Shimakaze, Hamagumo, Kleber. Let me just, sort some things out. There we go. Woo. So, let's have a look at some builds. Starting with the green team of RESIN. Ugh. God, it's all getting messed up. Right, anyway. Delny here, going to be running RPF, Superintendent. We got Shimakaze with leg mod, Swift and Silence and RPF. Z42, Hydra mod, Superintendent, RPF. Sphere, RPF, Superintendent, consumable cooldown, consumable duration. Moskva, top grade gun on leg mod. Moskva, top grade gun on leg mod. Prince Van Orange, airstrike mod slot 4, airstrike cooldown, top grade gunner. Kremlin, full tank, Swift and Silence. Bungo, no heavy AP, Swift and Silence. Meanwhile, for the red team of CL, Haragumo with the leg mod, Dazzle, and RPF, not taking AFT. Des Moines, RPF, Superintendent, no top grade. We have this St. Vincent, full tank, Shimakaze, Dazzle, RPF, torpedo reload, and the legendary module. We got the Prince Van Orange, prop mod, outnumbered. Kremlin here, full tank. Salem, top grade, outnumbered, survivability expert, no superintendent. The Kleber here is going to be Dazzle, fearless brawler, no leg mod. And this Kleber is going to be a leg mod Kleber with Swift and Silence and RPF. So, French DDs. Oui. Let's take a look at these deployments. I know we're already in caps, but, you know. So, over to A, Shimakaze, Sphere, smoke radar combination. Well, Sphere has his own smoke radar, but Shima should go for the deep spots. Delny with an early contest, Bungo and support, Moscow man the radar island, Miss Moscow man the danger radar island. Z42 going to go hydro lock this, Prince on Orange and Kremlin going to be fighting down here. Airstrike spam from this Prince on Orange looking for this position. You know, the red team, Haragumo Des Moines pushing up, fighting against the Sphere. This should be in favour of the Des Moines actually. Got Shimakaze with an early contest, will be spotting out this Delny, but will be caught in this Moscow's radar. We've got St. Vincent looking to go up the channel here. Prince on Orange looking at airstrike out Moscow Island. Kremlin looking for a push. Salem looking to fight as we up this island. And the double Kleber with the early deep spots and potentially fighting against the Z42. But let's jump back out of map view and have a look at what's going on. As we do see a little bit earlier, trading has been going down. Kremlin on Kremlin violence. with their pro long-range dispersion. Not really doing too much to each other just yet. A little bit of chip damage from them. Delany got a little bit of damage down into the Shimakaze over here as he got radared, but now Delany is perma-spotted here by the bungo salvos coming in towards the Shimakaze. Actually going to be doing big damage. Shima down to half HP already, 10,000. And follow-up Moskva radar coming down. As Resin's second Moskva is going to be saying, look, this Shima's low, go, radar now. And this Shima is in a world of trouble right now. Delany opening up on him, Moskva opening up on him. Another bungo salvo should be coming in shortly. 4,000 HP remaining on the Shimakaze. Shell still coming in. 3,000 HP. I'm burning. The Moskva radar is still active. 2,000 HP. 1,857 health. He is perma-burning. He is going to go down. Shimakaze going to go down for first blood in this third place game between Resin and CL. Resin going to be quite happy with that pickup. As you can tell, I've had my energy drink. I am now much more alive than the previous series. So with that, Resin should be able to contest C and take that quite happily. The only thing that would be stopping him is St. Vincent, who doesn't want to be risking himself up against the Delany. Hariguma Des Moines going to be dropping their smoke and radar combination, hunting down with this Shimakaze and trying to gain some map pressure up towards... Well, they're not actually pushing, they're just zoning. Surveyor drops his radar, does find the Haragumo, but the Des Moines will be opening on this as well. Remember, Des Moines has a 10-kilometer radar, Sphere only 9, so they will outrange this radar. Alright, we're going to be pushing forward, trying to get the smoke a little bit further down. Shouldn't be too much violence happening there. Des Moines pops his radar, does find the Shimakaze on the back end of that, but looking back over at Echo Cap, we see that the Kleber and Z42 are going to be neutralizing each other for now. As the Delany does take Charlie. Back over the Des Moines and Haragumo getting some damage down on this Sphere, but the Haragumo's been taking quite a bit of a battering for this, and he's open watering right now. So he's going to continue taking damage because this Shima's going to be spotting him. So he's going to stay spotted, and Sphere's going to get a lot more damage down onto him. And the Des Moines is very lucky to not have been dev-struck there, as the Bungo puts in a salvo into him. Where did Des Moines just shoot there? There's going to be another Bungo salvo coming in, because he's still lit. There's another Bungo salvo coming in towards this Des Moines right now. Nah, could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. You got lucky there. Yeah, still shells coming in. Yeah, that could have been a lot worse for that Des Moines. But we see Moscow over here has just been chunked. Looks like Prince and Orange airstrikes potentially was going to do that damage. Let's have a look here. Yeah, Prince and Orange airstrikes in Kremlin salvo. Z42 being zoned off the Echo Cap though, as he's going to be forced to drop his smoke now, being spotted by the Kleber. Salem pushing forward. There is a radar Salem. He will be able to zone this out. And it's looking not as comfortable for CL as we originally thought, for Resin as we originally thought, as there is now a Vincent parked up inside of Delta. Now, Vincent does have these front-loaded torpedoes coming out there and there of its bow. I mean, if he goes around this corner, he can get both torpedoes into the bow of that Moskva. And also, you know, overmatch the top half of the Moskva's bow, being 25mm. So Vincent rushing that Moskva is very much a threat. He will have to expose broadside to this Kremlin if he does. But at this range, the Kremlin's dispersion might be a little messy. So that option is there should he choose to go for it. In the meantime, Prince of Orange is going to continue sending airstrikes his way to farm him down a little bit. The Kleber of CL has rotated over towards Charlie and will be retaking that. As Resin's Moskva has rotated over to the far side of the cap, no longer denying that. Back over to the Des Moines and Haragumo, who are both relit. More bungo salvos coming in towards that Des Moines. Haragumo's smoke not available for another 4 seconds, being chased down by that Delany. Haru drops the smoke. And Des Moines will get dark. Well, CL lucky to get away with that one once again, as the bungo salvos coming in there, just not quite connecting where he needs them to. But yeah, this flank should now be a very easy push for Resin. We have the Delany and Shimakaze entering the Alpha Cap, and that's going to be a nice little contest for them. However, currently we do see that Echo and Charlie are both still held by CL. Bravo still being contested by the Vincent, but he's being perma reset. Oh, we see Kleber has found the Delny of Resin. We're going to see a 1v1 here. Shimakaze not going to be getting himself involved too much. This is the regular Kleber, not the leg mod one. Running Dazzle. A little bit of trading back and forth. Kleber with the reload booster. Active wants to take this trade as long as possible and then drop it off once the reload booster is gone. Come back with the next reload booster ready. Delny is able to sustain through this, so he wants to protract. They both want to prolong this. Delny wants to get the heals through. Kleber wants to wait for his next reload booster. Back over to the Des Moines. Looks like he's been forced out the back end of his smoke once again as a wall of torpedoes come towards him. Gonna expire before they get there. Bungo no longer in a position to shoot at him though, as the Bungo is rotating back towards the middle. More Prince Van Orange airstrikes coming in towards that St. Vincent position. I've just noticed that this Moscow has reversed all the way off that. So the Vincent was allowed to take Delta, meaning caps are currently now equalized. As we see, the Moscow of Resin has entered Charlie. He will be taking that, and now will give Resin a 3 cap to 2 advantage. They are still up a ship as well. And they've been trading much more effectively on HP, by the way. Just look at how much health in total that Resin have lost. Barely anything, compared to a massive chunk gone from CL. So CL need to now figure out a way for them to get onto another one of the caps. They Des Moines and Haragumo are being pushed all the way to A1 right, so A10 right now. They're going to need some sort of play onto Charlie. They do have a Kleber who is potentially able to rush this Moscow. There's a Bungo ready and waiting though to help defend that. Second Moscow available too, and the Z42 is rotating over, knowing that this is potentially going to be a contest point soon. They're going to be dropping a smoke as once again the Des Moines is lit. Pops his radar hunting for that Shimakaze. Haragumo smoke is available and he is going to be dropping that. Bungo salvos once again coming towards this Des Moines. Again, Peyton not finding what he was looking for on this Des Moines. And they're not really finding much return damage onto the Shimakaze either though. There's a little bit of damage going down there though. Delny taking a little bit of a chunking here as the Kleber's reload booster is active. Bungo salvos in towards the Kleber, doing a little bit of damage here. This Kleber needs to be very careful. He is getting low and he doesn't have a reload booster active. He can't fight this Delny forever, especially with the Bungo salvos coming in towards him. Like, yes, you can wiggle. Oh, you need to not beach though. You need to not beach, Mr. Kleber. You don't want to be... there's an island there, sir. Sphere with his radar is just on the brim of finding that Des Moines too. Haragumo is spotted right now. I'm not sure if he wants to open up with this Delny or not, considering the position of the Sphere. Sphere opens up onto the Haragumo. Sphere drops the smoke instantly. Peyton salvos coming in towards the Haru. Kremlin for CL has somehow advanced into a position to get himself incredibly low, by the way. Much more focused over on this flank as the residual shells coming in towards this Des Moines might actually kill him up. Des Moines pops his DCP. Super low. Sphere picks up the kill. And that will be game 1 going over towards Resin. As we also see the Kremlin did die there too. Congratulations to Resin taking game number 1 of the 3rd place playoff. 2 more until they are crowned 3rd place. Of course, that is only the first game of our best of 5 between these two teams. Map 2 will be heading over to Loop. So let me, without further ado, let me head you through over to the map introductions video for Loop.
On the Portuguese coast lies a crossing of sea lanes critical to the survival of opposing fleets. Surrounded by towers of crimson sedimentary rock and the expanse of the blue Atlantic, these two fleets will soon engage in trial by combat, where only one team can claim victory. This is Loop. Loop is a 48 by 48 kilometer domination style map with 4 cap points running in a line from west to east. The A and B caps are on the left, C is in the center, and D is on the right. In this configuration, Loop now has 2 capture points on the west side of the map that can be seen as teams' home caps. Teams will now have to weigh whether it's worth deploying more ships west to try and capture the enemy home cap or merely defend and attempt to break through. Elsewhere in the center of the map, capture point C has been greatly reduced in size. It will be far more challenging for destroyers to comfortably capture this point without sufficient support from teammates and nearby radar cruisers. On the eastern side of the map, capture point D was moved further east. Destroyers wishing to capture this point will no longer find the safety of the island in the middle of the cap, and instead must face the threat of enemy radar or even hydro from nearby islands. 18 ships, 2 teams, 1 victor. It's time to play Loop.
I'm a little bit frustrated right now as I've just been informed that apparently the first place game is actually happening at the same time as this one. Which means I'm actually quite annoyed. I thought we were doing third place and then the grand final, not the other way around, not both at the same time. So let me see if I can hop over to the grand final because I'm much more interested in that game. It's actually very frustrating. So I'm gonna hop over to the grand final. I didn't realize both were happening at the same time. That's very annoying. Yeah, I'm hopping over to the grand final. Sorry. Yeah. Look, this series might have been entertaining enough, but I didn't realize both games are happening at the same time. Game 1 of the grand final has already happened, so we'll jump in for Game 2. My apologies. Look, actually, it looks like Game 1 hasn't occurred yet, question mark? No, it has. Right, let me get prepared for the grand final instead. Give me a minute here. Right, TWA. I mean, it was a decent enough game. But obviously we want to do the grand final. Because, you know, we might get back into the other series. You never know. Right, reset team A, reset team B, reset maps. Apply. We're going into Northern Waters. I'll get the picks and bans all filled in as quick as I can. So, TWA banning Kleber, Marseille, Ragnar, and Napoli. TWA's map ban is North. ARIS going to be banning Hotspot. ARIS bans are Brisbane, Des Moines, Haragumo, and finally Gdansk. Series is in progress. Let me find out who won map 1. Doesn't say. I'm assuming TWA, but bold prediction. I'm slightly disappointed that third place and the grand final are happening at the same time. Alright, next map is going to be Northern Waters. Let me get the map rotation in. So, first map was Sleeping Giant. We missed that game. Next map is Northern Waters. Map 3 will be Pharaoh. Map 4 will be Loop. And map 5 will be Land of Fire. If we reach those. Sorry again. I was under the impression that we were doing the third place game and then the grand final, but apparently not, so I don't know what to tell you here. So you got a result for the game 1. TWA took game 1 very handily by the looks of it. Yeah. It was 1,000 points to 573. Game finished in 13 minutes on Sleeping Giant. So TWA are 1 map up. So we have the training room so you can watch people readying up if you really want to. There we go. TWA, fully ready. ARIS, waiting for 4 players to ready up. Anyway, let's have a look at how the team's got here, since we apparently were waiting a while. Alright, so. We have, so let me go back to here. Let's have a look at TWA, how they got to this point. So, TWA, 2-0 against Kashi, 2-0 against Oh Boy, and then 2-0 loss against YYUT. They then went 2-1 over ARIS, meaning ARIS did take a map off them previously. So, it is possible for ARIS to take some games off TWA, as we've seen during the Swiss stage. But then in the playoffs, TWA went 3-0 against RNG, 3-0 against Rain. Well, 3-1.5, as we saw the draw, and Rain almost bringing us to a Game 6 decider in that fantastic series yesterday. And then 3-0 against RESIN earlier today. Meanwhile, their opponents... Oh, sorry, I didn't want to go there. God damn it. Their opponents... Oh, my lord, I'm lost. Alright, hang on. Stages. Who are we looking for? We're looking for ARIS. ARIS. You know what? ARIS, where are you? You're in here somewhere. There you are. So ARIS is progression. 2-0 against E-Red, 2-0 against Virtus, 2-0 loss to TSYMQ, 2-1 loss to TWA, and then a 2-0 victory over Kashi, advancing them 3-2 through the Swiss stage. Then with 3-0 over TVAD, 3-1 over TSYMQ, and 3-2 against CL. With their current series against TWA, they are one map down. As we're going to be heading over to Northern Waters very soon. Both teams have confirmed ready. We're just waiting for the official cast. Meaning we're probably not going to get to do a game 4 or 5 from the other series, because this one's going to take forever, just because it takes the official stream forever to say that they're ready. As we are going to be dropping into game number 2 of the grand final of King of the Sea 18. Here we are, grand final, game number 2. TWA in green, representing EU in the northern spawn. Gonna be running Kremlin, Willem de Erst, Moskva, Petro, Svea, Prince on Orange, Marceau, and Yuyang. Meanwhile, in red, representing Asia, we see ARIS. Gonna be running Sibba, Willem de Erst, Petro, Svea, Utrecht, Prince on Orange, Laffy, and Cassard. Let's go take a look at some builds. Starting out, as always, with the green team. So, we got the Kremlin here for Silverblade. He's gonna be running full tank. We got the the Willem de Erst, going to be running airstrike mod in slot 4. Got the Petra Pavlos, going to be running top grade gunner. Let me move this to the center so it's easier to see for me. Sphere here, Superintendent and RPF. We've got the Prince on Orange of Sakiko, who's going to be running top grade gunner and airstrike mod slot 4. Moskva for Anlaitung is going to be running top grade gunner, Superintendent, and legendary module. Petra Pavlovsk of Point is going to be running top grade, Superintendent, and reload mod. Over the DDs, we have Yuyang for Vile, going to be running a radar Yuyang with RPF and Swift and Silence, along with torpedo reload. Marceau of Forward Unto Dawn. Reset. Never mind. I'm going to be going for a reset. Back to the chain here. These are all readying back up. Missing one player from ARIS. ARIS had a DC apparently. We'll go back over the builds as soon as we get it back in the game. As we are, once again, dropping into Game 2 of the KotS Grand Finals, hopefully this time without a restart. Here we are, once again, in Game number 2. Green team, the Northern Spawn will be TWA, going to be running Kremlin, Williams, Earth, Moscow, Petro, Sphere, Prince on Orange, Marceau, Yu Yang. New medal in red. Iris going to be running Sibber, Willem de Earth, Petro, Sphere, Utrecht, Prince on Orange, Laffy, and Cassard. Once again, go over the builds for the battleships. We have the Kremlin running full tank. We have Willem de Earth with the airstrike mod in slot 4. Prince on Orange, airstrike mod slot 4. Petropavlovsk of Point, he's going to be running top grade and reload mod. Moscow for Anlai. Top grade lag mode. Petropavlovsk for KotS, top grade, reload. Sphere is RPF, Superintendent, and Concealable Reload and Cooldown. Yu Yang, Vile. Radar Yu Yang, Swift and Silence, RPF. Marceau, Forward Unto Dawn, is going to be running Dazzle, Fearless, and Concealment. Red team, over here somewhere. There we go. We have Laffy here running Dazzle, RPF, Superintendent. We have the Cassard running Swift and Silence at RPF. Petropavlovsk, Reload mod, Top Grade Gunner. Sphere, RPF, Superintendent, Concealable Reload and Cooldown. Petro, Outnumbered and Range mod. Prince on Orange, Airstrike mod slot 4, Outnumbered. Utrecht, Heavy HE, Demolition Expert, Superintendent, and Airstrike mod slot 4. Willem de Eerst, Airstrike mod slot 4, Swift and Silence, and the Airstrike skill. Sibir for secondaries. And I'm sure I missed a ship there, but it doesn't really matter. Early radar coming out as we see a collision of ships in the middle, but let me go pull it to the mini-map. Show you where everything's going. Kremlin going for the 910 line push. We've got Petropavlovsk in support. Willem's going up here. Prince on Orange is here. Both of them looking for airstrikes on that spot there. Yu Yang going for deep spots. We then got Petro, Svea, Marceau with the early cap attempt, and Petro on support. Red team. Siva heading towards the 910 line. Utrecht looking for the airstrike position along with Petro and Prince on Orange. Cassard went deep looking for early spotting. Willem de Eerst, not sure where he's going to Sphere went to deny this spot, going to raid all this Marceau out. Petro pre-kited, and then the Laffy went for the early cap. But let's go in and see who's been taking damage, and it looks like the focus is going to be Forward Unto Dawn, who's currently nuzzled behind this little rock here. We'll be bouncing back and forth, attempting to take this cap. Going to be making a break for freedom now, as he is going to be pounded by several ships, including the Cassard and Sphere. And it looks like the Prince Van Orange damn near got dev struck as we pull up. Who's been doing all this damage to you? One Kremlin salvo from Silverblade, almost wiping him off the map immediately. Trace is going wild. There's a few more residual shells coming from the Kremlin. Kremlin takes first blood on that Prince on Orange. At 3 minutes into the game, 2 minutes 30 to be precise, Kremlin himself has been taking a bit of a battering on his way down. This is going to be from the Utrecht, Prince on Orange, and Petro. But he is nuzzled up against that rock now, and it's going to be quite annoying to deal with. He does have the rapid cooldown damage control party, so he is going to withstand those airstrikes quite well if he just keeps spamming that DCP on cooldown. Kremlin with a fast reload on the DCP, but the limited charges. Same with the Schlieffen. So Kremlin just a bit more tanky overall with more armor. Be able to withstand those airstrikes, direct damage slightly more. As we see, 1 cap to 1. TWA have taken the neutral Bravo cap, whereas the home cap is the one taken for ARIS. TWA will now be able to take their neutral cap with Kinemod in the sphere. Kremlin, again, popping those rapid cooldown damage control parties as they come in, so he can get rid of those fires. 16 seconds left on the cap. Airstrikes should be coming in before then, though. Or not. Looks like Kremlin will just be able to take this cap as no airstrike is ready. Yu Yang of Vile pops his radar, finds the Cassard. Nobody really here to do much damage to it. Maybe the Moscow Van Light can get a couple of shots in. Yu Yang himself not wanting to get too up close and personal. There's a Moscow salvo. Not going to be too much, but hey, damage is damage. Force the DCP. As Vile takes a torpedo from the Cassard in return. Prince Van Orange airstrikes and Willem de airstrikes both heading towards the ARIS Siva. Vera comes out from the Petropavlovsk of ARIS, will be spotting Vile, who has got a bit more of a torpedo issue once again. Dodging this time. Petro Radar is also going to be picking up the Willem de position as well as the Petropavlovsk of TWA plus the Kremlin. The Prince Van Orange of TWA on the 910 on the one line here is going to be taking a lot of hammering here as the Siva looks like he's took a ton of damage on his way up too though. The approach to this island very dangerous in this game, especially with all these airstrikes around. You're not even safe when you're there anymore. No longer do we see the permanent hydro wall around this rock waiting for one team to be able to rush around the other. So Kremlin and Sibir probably both about to die here. Well, one of them is at least. Sibir went to the superstructure of the Kremlin, not doing as much damage as you would hope. Kremlin can potentially survive this, as the Sibir's taking a hammering from all of these green ships around him. He's going to go for the ram at the back end of the Kremlin by the looks of it. Does he survive long enough to get there? Silverblade reversing into the Kremlin. Oh, doesn't actually get the reverse off. The Sibir gets the reload and gets the kill on the Kremlin. Sibir's still alive for now. Prince on Orange salvo his broadside. Not going to kill him either. Sibir is still healing. Sibir should be going down relatively shortly. But that's going to allow the Petropavlovsk ARIS to get into the cap and potentially take it. Sibir should be going down relatively soon though. He's only got 5 seconds left on his healing anyway. As the Cassard goes down for ARIS somewhere in the background. Sibir completely out of healing now. Finally goes down. Petro in the cap though. So that's 3 kills to 1 in favor of TWA. Currently with a 300 point advantage. Sitting on 2 caps taken to 1. With 1 cap being currently contested by ARIS. Laffy taking a bit of damage here. Petro Radar comes out, finds Vile's Yu Yang. The guns are not properly turned, and Petro has the world's slowest turret traverse. Gets a salvo out, but it's not going to be too much. Vile shouldn't be in any danger of dying here. Well, actually saying that, we've also got the Utrecht salvos coming in towards him. But yeah, Vile's fine for now. Dazzle going to be helping him with a little bonus dispersion against him. Kinemod in the sphere, popping his radar here. We'll be finding ARIS is approaching Willem de Eerst. As we head back over to Alpha and take a closer look at what's going on here, we see the Petro of KotS is being hammered from behind as the Laffy and Petro will both nuzzle up against this rock. Should be able to take this cap finally. So set the cap to 2-2 and neutralize the bleed. They are still down by 400 points, though. Forward onto Dawn's Marceau going to be opening against the Sphere. Sphere of ARIS swaps out the opposing Sphere as the Marceau gets the kill in return. So that's a 1-for-1 trade. Both Spheres going down here. Forward onto Dawn, has to dodge the torpedoes. Okay, desync there. Well, 4 kills to 2 in favour of TWA right now. As we see a YOLO in progress by the Laffy. Well, Laffy goes down, but in return, the Petropavlovsk will also go down. And the Irish Petropavlovsk in the Alpha Cap will also go down too. And that's going to put it to 3 kills to 6 in favour of TWA, with just 3 ships remaining for ARIS. And it's looking like their chance of winning this game are pretty much nullified now, as we see the Petropavlovsk point is going to be in a 1 versus 1 against the Irish Petro. That's going to hold that back. That's going to allow the Marceau to just walk into Delta here. Willem Durst's not going to do much about that. And it's Marceau, Willem, and Prince and Orange can all walk into A. Utrecht is going to be the only free ship, but he's got to deal with a Moscow if he wants to go anywhere near B. This is all pretty much over. Slow burn with the Petro and Petro violence. Shouldn't be too much else. Well, maybe the Willem and Utrecht can airstrike out the Moscow, but it's going to take a while. Utrecht is trying to 1v1 the Moscow right now. Let's see what we can do. As you see, the ships over there are still out of the battle for now. That's going to give a little bit of time for ARIS' Utrecht to work over Anlai, especially with the airstrike support from the Willem de Erst. Well, Willem is going to be taking some torpedoes for his troubles, though, as we see the Marceau, Forward, and Dawn going to be landing those. Marceau going to get himself lit. The Utrecht is burning down this Moskva, but he's taking a lot of damage for it. Moskva currently on triple fire. He's not enjoying his life right now. So Moskva is going to go down. DSP not going to be available. 1 kill pick back up for ARIS. And they do have the Willem de Erst contesting. See that as the Willem de Erst just gets turbo chunked. Moscow finally goes down. Yeah, Willem now suffering at the hands of the Marceau, should be going down himself. Is indeed. Utrecht goes down too, and that just really leaves 1 remaining Petropavlovsk kiting his way at the border and not doing very much about anything. Go flat, it's over. GG. Turn full broadside, allow the Petropavlovsk to citadel you, get yourself ready for the next game. As the Petro's dispersion says no. As we wait for points next reload to get us out of this battle and ready for game number 3. TWA taking a 2-0 lead in the grand finals of King of the Sea 18. Map number 3 will be Faroe Islands. My fingers hurt from the cold. Yeah, let me go see if I can find an update from the previous series, see what their score is, see who's going to be winning 3rd place. Looks like CL did take a game back against RESIN. That's currently a 1-1 series, so there is potential that we can jump over to game 4 or 5 after the series if this goes 3-0. tell you what, let's throw you over the map introduction video for Faroe Islands. While I'm currently still internally frustrated about the fact that we started the grand finals and the third place game at the same time. But hey, what can we do?
Between the Norwegian Sea and the North Atlantic Ocean lies a subpolar collection of islands guarding the gates of Northern Europe. The seas surrounding this rugged volcanic land will erupt once again as two opposing fleets donate molten steel. Only one fleet can successfully tame this land. This is Faroe Islands. Faroe Islands is a 42 by 42 kilometer domination-style map with 4 cap points running from the northwest to southeast. The A cap is in the top left, B is in the center, C is in the bottom, and D is in the upper right. The A cap lies far from each team's spawn. Ships heading this direction will be forced to expose their full profile to potential enemies along the way. With nearby islands providing refuge to radar cruisers, destroyers must play cautiously. The B cap sits in the direct center, the remnants of an extinct volcano bordering the caldera. On all 4 sides are narrow waterways, in and out. Fleets must commit significant resources if they wish to take and hold this crucial territory. The C and D caps serve as home caps for each fleet. Though easy to take, the islands between them will serve to mask the advancement of friend and foe alike. Will teams opt to blitz their opponent by directly assaulting their home cap, or play it safe and fight for more? Map control. The 4 corners of Faroe Islands consist of landmasses which serve to funnel ships into various choke points. Battles on this map will resemble the molten forces that forged them, fiery and fierce. 18 ships, 2 teams, 1 victor. It's time to play Faroe Islands.
Well, here we are potentially at the grand final decider game. TWA up 2 maps to 0 against ARIS. Winning this game will send them home with $50,000 US to split between their team. ARIS in the last chance saloon. You have a full reverse sweep if you want any chance of taking home that grand prize. Failing that, they are going to still walk. Oh, sorry, $25,000. My apologies. $25,000. Loser of this, $12,500. Still a respectable amount of money. Teams again going to be expressing their frustrations about the lack of a losers bracket. Obviously, Rain, fantastic performance, but meeting up against TWA in the quarterfinals means they went home with nothing. There was always a possibility for Rain to make a losers bracket run and have a grand final remake against these if that format was available. But unfortunately, we have a single elimination once again. What can you say? Commiserations. Well, let's get ready. As we could potentially be about to see the crowning of our King of the Sea 2025 Part 2. So yeah, this will be King of the Sea 18. Both teams are ready. Chinese cast is ready. Just waiting for official. As TWA look to take home the title of King of the Sea 18. Just waiting on a official, I guess. Well, actually, looks like ARIS haven't declared themselves ready yet, but yeah. Alright, last player in for ARIS now. ARIS have confirmed themselves as ready. We're just waiting for official. And here we go into Game 3 of the Grand Final. TWA potentially going to be taking the title of King of the C18 in this battle. Here we are loading into the Faroe Islands as TWA are going to try and take the title. Green team of the Northern Spawn need a reverse sweep for the potential to take home $25,000 US. ARIS in green representing Asia going to be running Bungo, Sibir, Salem, Petro, Utrecht, Summers, Marso. Red, TWA, the Titans of EU going to be running Bungo, Moskva, Petro, Sphere, Summers, Laffy and Marso. An attempt to stomp out the hopes of the Asian team. So let's take a look at the build, starting as always with the green team, ARIS. Utrecht is going to be running Heavy HE, Demolition Expert, and Superintendent Reload Mod, and Airstrike Mods Level 4. Marceau, Dazzle, and RPF. Petropavlovsk, Top Grid Gunner, and Range Mod. We have the Summers, Swift and Silence, RPF, and Torpedo Reload. We have the Heck and Summers with the same build. Salem here will be a Radar. Salem going to be running Superintendent, Top Grid Gunner, and Survivability Expert. We have Petropavlovsk, Leg Mod, and Top Grade Gunner plus Superintendent. Bungo is going to be running Heavy AP. Sibir is going to be running Secondaries. Flying over to TWA in red, wherever the hell they are, they're over there. Petropavlovsk, Top Grade Gunner, and Reload Mod. Summers, Swift and Silence RPF. Bungo, Full Tank, Swift and Silence Torch Reverse, no Heavy AP. Second Bungo, Full Tank. We got Petropavlovsk of KotS, Reload Mod, and Top Grade Gunner. Moskva, Van Light Tongue, Reload Mod, Leg Mod, Top Grade Gunner, Superintendent. Laffy of Forward Unto Dawn is going to be running Dazzle, Conceal, Superintendent. We have the Sphere of Kenny Mod, Superintendent, RPF, and Conceal, Reload, and Cooldown. And finally, the Marceau is going to be running Dazzle and Fearless Brawler, no AFT. Let's put the builds back over there and take a look at the initial deployments as TWA. Going to try and seal this series up. So, Marceau heading over to A, going to have a Sibir and support along with a Salem. Meanwhile, everything else, Summers, Petropavlovsk, Bungo, Utrecht, Petro, all heading towards the home caps for a heavy push. TWA, meanwhile, Marceau over to A, Sphere and support, Laffy with it, Petropavlovsk around there, Moscow good man the Radar Island, Bungo, and then we're going to have Hetero Summers at C, trying to hold off this giant ARIS push. ARIS take their home cap first, and we'll start a point advantage. Might see a mild collision of the Marceaus over at A, as TWA definitely have the forces advantage here. Early trading going TWA's way between these two, and here comes the supporting shells from the rest of the team. Not really too much damage there. Marceau gets dark, not taking too much damage. TWA with the early start that they want, looking going quite well for them. As we see a summer smoke laid down with the Utrecht, Petro, and Bungo behind it. There is a second Summers for more smokes to push this line further. As Vile lays down his own smoke for the Petro to hide behind. Vile with a nice torpedo line, seeing where that smoke screen had been laid, dropping it in front of the Summers. Not going to be connecting though. As we see Lafayette forward at Dawn does take a Marceau top. All quiet for now. TWA could be taking Alpha Cap with their Laffy. Salem radar comes out as the Marceau goes to the resets, doesn't quite find them, and now he's going to be taking a bit of a shelling, but he's alright for now. Salvo's in towards the sphere, and Laffy takes another chunk here. Does have a heal though. Radar out from that Salem will find the position of the opposing. Sorry, radar out from the sphere finds the position of the Salem. And it starts raining down shells into him. Let's go back over to this massive push for ARIS, which is taking its sweet time getting here. Secondary smoke coming down from the Summers. As you see, the Sibba of ARIS is advanced to a very forward position next to B. He's going to start getting farmed here. Sailor and Marceau on the retreat. This push needs to work soon if ARIS are expecting anything to happen here. This TWA look like they're already taking up a defensive stance around this. Point going to be nuzzling himself on this side of the island, just having radar control over everything and having potential resets from the rest of his team, which are currently rotating over. You see the Marceau of Sakiko is currently heading over. We have the Moscow of Anlai in a position to get involved. But currently everybody's focusing on this Sibba and trying to farm out his hit points. He is completely alone here. Just wasting HP, being burned down, not actually doing anything apart from soaking damage. He's keeping the focus of the team on him, but if your team isn't doing anything while you're being focused, is it really worth being focused? Sibba gets some return damage into the bungle, but nothing worth writing home about. Back over at the push. Ice-T Summers has gotten himself right up to this home cap now. As the two Summers do indeed spot each other. Petropavlik shells coming out, as long as Utrecht, Petro, and Bungo are now going to be sending the shells that way. But in return, Ice-T going to take a huge chunk, as the rest of the team is also going to be getting on him. Bungo salvo came in, Petro salvo came in. Ice-T drops his smoke. Petro radar comes out though, so the Summers isn't getting dark. Second Summers is also spotted here. Vile going to be opening up here. Ice-T getting very low, down to a quarter of his HP. And Summers obviously has no heals available. Shells coming in. Summers getting very low. Vile open water gunboating and his Summers trying to finish this guy off. Petro radar goes down. Ice-T survives for now. Point taking a few chunks during all of that, but if you look at the background there, Sibba has been getting absolutely rinsed. Down to 27 seconds of healing total left. And what has he got to show for it? Not much. I mean, they somehow have got a lot of damage on the sphere of Kinnymod though. Alright, ARIS is Summers now going to be contesting Charlie. No radar available to deny this. Anlai busy focusing that Sibba down. And Sibba is going to go down here. But it has allowed ARIS to actually take the home cap of TWA at the expense of a Sibba. Now the question is, can they deny B long enough for this cap to matter? Because TWA are currently up 200 points. As the Salem is currently fishing for that sphere. He's not going to find him, though. Salem now in a 2 versus 1. TWA now going to be contesting Bravo, and there's nothing really going to be able to deny that for ARIS. So yes, you've taken the home cap, but you've lost Bravo. Salem Raider comes out, Petro Raider comes out. Both crews are still going to be keeping an eye on each other. As TWA do take the Bravo cap. Bungo salvo towards Utrecht, not going to connect. Second Bungo salvo towards the Utrecht. Also connecting slightly. Moscow salvos too. Well, ARIS did manage to take the home cap, but that's about all they managed to get here. As we see Marceau on Marceau violence once again. The two of them running into each other, and ARIS's Marceau are going to go down. TWA now up 260 points, 2 caps to 2. As you see, the Salem's also going to go down 300 points now in favor of TWA. And ARIS getting bottled up. Yes, they have the home cap, but they have nothing else. I'm going to start trying to desperately work over this Petropavlovsk so they can actually start trying to get out of this corner of the map. But in the meantime, we see that Marceau of Sakiko is going for the backstab into Delta. Radar out from Petropavlovsk. We'll be finding the back end of Point, trying to finish him off. Utrecht airstrike might get the job done. Oh, Summers torps out. The ARIS Summers. It's all going Pete Tong for ARIS. As TWA are looking like they might be about to be crowned or King of the C18 champions. As Kiko steps on Delta in front of the Summers of ARIS. Laffy in support as well, though. Yes, the Marceau is low, he might be killable. But the Laffy will definitely look for the return fire potential onto Summers should he contest it. TWA are forced out of the home cap just now. Can they actually get the kill on the Marceau? Summers drops his smoke to try and disengage from this. Utrecht salvo's coming in, trying to pick off this Marceau. Summers not actually shooting here. So Sakiko is going to get away. Well, Utrecht salvo is still coming in. Yeah, I'm also going to get away with it. It was unfortunate. They really needed that kill. Laffy taking a bit of damage though. ARIS with 2 minutes 15 left to make something happen. Petropavlovsk, ARIS now being focused by the TWA, Petro, Moskva, and Bungo. 1 minute 30 left for ARIS to make something happen as their Petro is slowly being whittled down. Their Petro and Bungo looking to see if they can find the side of something around here, anything, and try and get themselves some more time to make something happen. As the Laffy now going to be opening up beside the Petro 2. Petropavlovsk getting incredibly low on HP. Burst fire coming in from all angles. ARIS's Petro goes down. 973 points for TWA. TWA about to be crowned King of the C18 champions here. As time ticks slowly away with the hopes of ARIS, the hopes of the rest of the world, TWA once again proving that they are the best in the world. And are now crowned your King of the Sea 18 champions. Congratulations, TWA. Nobody saw this coming. Congratulations once again to TWA becoming King of the Sea champions for the umpteenth time. Now, let me go see if I can get back into the other game, which might be slightly closer, as we're fighting for third place. CL versus RESIN. Let's see if I can get back into that game. Looks like it's already in progress, and let's see what game is in progress here. CL versus RESIN is currently in game 3. And it was 1-1, so we should, in theory, be able to get to game 4. So yeah, CL versus RESIN currently in progress in game 3, so we will be able to cast the end of that. So let me get you all set up for the third place game, which is currently on Land of Fire. Right. Reset maps, reset Team B, reset Team B. Alright, CL, RESIN. Pick some bands, let's get them all in. CL band, Pharaoh. RESIN band, Northern Waters. CL band, Utrecht. Gdansk. Brisbane. And Napoli. RESIN band, Petropavlovsk. Brisbane. Minotaur. And Marseille. The maps were North, Loop, Land of Fire, which is in progress, Sleeping Giant, and Hotspot. RESIN won game 1. CL won game 2. Game 3 has just ended. CL have won game 2. So it's 2-1 in favor of CL. Right. Oh, sorry. I need Land of Fire was won by Seal. So, potential 2 more games left in King of the Sea 18 in our 3rd place decider. Winner walking home with $7,500 US. Losers walking home with 5,000. So $2,500 on the line for the team. As we take a look at the training room and we see there are a million people waiting to jump into the spectator slots. The room is fucked, so we will be remaking the room. So we have a brief delay here. And congratulations once again to TWA, who will be your international champions once again. Right. Right, getting ready for game 4, taking place on Sleeping Giant. Oh, might take us a little while since I have to load everybody back into the training room after the training room decided they wanted to die, because World of Warships is a fun, bug-free game made by a small indie company who can't afford to develop the training room and also can't afford to develop a feature that allowed me to cast from replays so we could cover every game that happened in the internationals rather than just the ones that we were allowed to cast. Even though that would be months and months of content, but hey. Honestly, I really, really wish I could just sit there and cover all of KotS. Like, for 2 months, stream every day and just do a new game just cover games after games after games, and people interact with my chat in real time. Imagine that. Imagine that you could just sit here and we'd sit down on a Thursday, we'd be like, right, we're gonna do all of Group 1 from King of the Sea 18 today. We're gonna watch all of all the China teams or something like that. That'd be fantastic, but no, we can't do that, can we? As you see, teams are all getting I have the wrong map set, sorry. We're actually playing on Land of Fire. No, we're not. We're playing on Sleeping Giant, sorry, my bad. There we go. Fix that up for you. I've got a little overlay in my training room. Shows the actual spawns on the map rather than just the and then just the minimap overview, because we have weird spawns and it also shows the cap layout. So. There's best of 5 once again. Bans for this series. CL have banned Utrecht, Gdansk, Brisbane and Napoli. RESIN have banned Petro, Brisbane, Minotaur and Marseille. RESIN need 2 game wins to take home the 7,500. CL just 1. Well, this could be it. This could potentially be the final game of King of the C18. What a long, strange trip it's been. 4 weekends. And I only overslept about 5 times. I think I overslept every single day of internationals, which is genuinely impressive. Actually, no, I think I was awake last Sunday on time. So only 3 out of 4 days for the internationals I overslept. I'm still annoyed that they decided to run this game 3 and 4 at the same time. Like 3rd place in the final at the same time. I would have very much liked to have watched what happened in game 2 and 3 of this. I like how EU officials just sacked this game off entirely. Yep, official cast just sacked this game off entirely. Here we go, game number 4 of the 3rd place playoff between RESIN and CL is underway. Here we are, game 4, RESIN. 1 game down, needing 2 victories to take home $7,500. Representing in North America, in green in the Northern Spawn, here on Sleeping Giant. They are going to be running Ohio, Lauria, San Martin, Des Moines, Moscow, Gearing, Grozavoy, Kleber, and Marceau. Meanwhile, in red, representing China, CL are going to be running Bungo, Kremlin, San Martin, Moscow, Sphere, Daring, Kleber. And they are 1 game away from taking home that $7,500 for 3rd place. Take a look at some builds. Starting out, as always, with the green team. Grozavoy, RESIN, going to be running the Legendary module and RPF along with Superintendent. Moscow behind that, top grade gunner, leg mod. Ohio, full tank, along with Swift and Silence. We've got the Gearing, leg mod, Swift and Silence, RPF. The Marceau there is going to be running Fearless and RPF. We've got Kleber here, no leg mod, Fearless, BFT. Des Moines, Superintendent, top grade gunner, and leg mod. Lauria, full tank. And San Martin, outnumbered RPF, Superintendent, no survivability expert. Meanwhile, over the red team, starting out with, Liz Kleber at the front. He's going to be running the leg mod and Dazzle and RPF. The Kleber behind him is going to be Dazzle, Fearless, and Conceal. The Kleber behind him, Dazzle, Fearless. The Daring is going to be running Dazzle and RPF. The Sphere over here, Superintendent, RPF. The Moskva, top grade gunner. No top grade gunner, sorry. RPF, leg mod, Superintendent. Bungo, full tank, turret traverse, and Swift and Silence. And finally, the Kremlin, full tank and turret traverse. Let's have a look at the initial deployments in what could be the final game of King of the Sea. Green team heading over to A-Cap. We have the Marceau along with Ohio and San Martin. Moscow manning the radar island, looking for control over B. Grozavoy, Kleber, and Gearing all heading over towards the home caps. The Gearing and Des Moines looking for the smoke radar combination for potential push down here with Lauria and support just to snipe at anything with that overmatching sap. Meanwhile, in red, San Martin looking for the kite around this region. Moscow going to be manning this island with Kremlin support. Daring with the early contest. Bungo here. Kleber going to be cutting, looking for the early jump on the Kleber there, and the Sphere heading, well, probably through D. But here we go, we're about to see some brawls as I remove all my squiggles. Moscow Radar comes out, picks up some of the Klebers. This Kleber has had the early warning to get out of there. As he sees the approaching Klebers, he doesn't get out in time though, he decides to overstay his welcome. And he's now going to be suffering. What? Oh, he gets some torps down. Beautiful torpedoes. Catching 2 of the Klebers of CL. Wonderful torps from RESIN. getting huge chunks onto three of the Klebears, all down on half HP. Fantastic play. Fantastic play, countering that deep early push. And at the same time, Resin have managed to nuzzle that A-cap with their Marceau. Start of the game going incredibly for Resin, countering that early play. Let's see if the Grozvoy dodges these torpedoes. He does. Okay, Resin are in a fantastic position to take us to game 5 right now. As you also see, they got a lot of damage down on the CL Daring. He was contesting Bravo. And are able to take their home cap. So, 2 caps to 1 in favor of Resin, with the early advantage definitely going Resin's way, getting all that damage down onto those Klebears. Now, the Klebears do have the improved saturation. So they will take less damage now. But that damage is definitely, you know, nothing to show off. That's going to hurt them. That's going to... So let's see who the damage was on. Which of these Klebears was it that took it? So which one's the leg mod Klebear? Leg mod Klebear is one of the super low ones, which is fine for him. He's not the one that's going to be expected to take damage. Actually, yeah. Conga line torpedoes towards the Moskva is hydroed. Hydroed or not, it's still gonna be an awkward dodge. It's the reverse, gets past them. Daring Conga lines, the secret worst enemy of Moskvas. Moskva, radar for Resin comes out, spotting the CL Daring. The Marceau is in position to open up on this. Choosing not to, instead choosing to go dark so he can contest Bravo himself. As we see, pretty much no focus at all from CL on Alpha, but the Kremlin and Moskva are positioned here, ready to go. So they should be making a play over for Alpha sometime soon, as Resin are contesting Bravo. Meanwhile, the Resin team have got their massive force here with the Grozvoy, Gearing, Des Moines, Laria, and Klebear all going to be pushing down towards the home caps of CL, who are basically giving up all this ground and bottling themselves up south of B. Yeah, CL not very happily positioned right now. They are rotating their wolf pack. Moskva radar comes out, spots the Marceau too little too late, as he's already gotten away with his cap. As the Resin push continues. And Resin should be happily able to nuzzle himself into that Delta cap and take both home caps and be taking on both other caps. So they'll be quite happy to give Alpha over once his Kremlin enters it. Tiny bit of chip damage coming at the Marceau Resin there. Yeah, I say a tiny bit. It took a full reload booster from the Klebear. Also some salvos from the Moskva. Not the end of the world, but definitely damage. Damage is damage. Yeah, as we see, Resin have already left Alpha, not interested in sticking around, knowing that there's a whole like, Kremlin and friends coming this way. As Resin nuzzle himself into the Delta cap. Daring, contesting Bravo, but the Marceau is here to say hello to him. Moskva radar is available. Comes out. So Daring going to be taking a bit more damage here. Marceau waiting for the render to readjust his aim. Also going to be getting a little damage down on it. Meanwhile, Kremlin's going to be walking around the top here. Going to be getting some damage on the back end of the Ohio. But RESIN now 3 minutes away from the win and getting a lot of damage down on this Daring as the Kleber has also managed to get himself involved. Reload booster active. Daring going to go down. RESIN picking up first blood in this game. And looking like they're in a very dominant position to carry us to that Game 5 decider. As CL do indeed take the Alpha cap, but after RESIN have taken the home cap of CL. Daring tops out the Moscow with that conga line though. A little bit of return. But it's still looking good for RESIN in this current situation. Well, the Wolf Pack has found the San Martin. Well, 2/3 of the Wolf Pack, as the other club has fucked off into Narnia. San Martin now stuck up against the border. Kremlin on his side. San Martin, Kleber on him as well. He's just going to have to kite his way up to A1 and delay as long as possible. The longer he can keep this Kleber, San Martin, and Kremlin occupied, the better for his team. He does have a little bit of support in from his Marceau and Ohio, but nothing that he's... They're not going to... Ooh, actually, saying that. There's a big chunk in on the Kleber there. San Martin basically is going to try and get his guns on these as long as possible. Wants to get all of his heals out, so he wants to get that funny button activated as many times as possible. So he's going to sit, get all of his guns up, get his next heal, get his next funny button up. I'm trying to get a bit of damage down. The Kleber shouldn't be taking too much directly from him since they can just angle to his AP only. See a Masquerader coming out in the middle for CL. Big chunks onto the CL Moskva. That was from a Lauria salvo. As we see, the Kleber is also taking a hammering here. Moskva advancing forward. Marceau going to be opening up on him. San Martin in the corner has been taken, just popping more heals. As this Moskva dives into B-cap, but his broadside is fully exposed to everything over here. Look at these Klebers and Grozovoy and Des Moines and Lauria all opening up on him. This CL Moskva is not long for this world. Going to be going down. At the same time, the San Martin does finally go down for RESIN, but it's a nice 1-for-1 trade across the map. 2 kills to 2, 1 minute left on the clock for RESIN to take us to Game 5. So it looks like CL's desperation play. They're going to have to send this Kleber into B, see what they can do with that, and look to see what else they can get around here. But it doesn't look like there's much available, does it? Yeah, there's nothing really much available. All they can do is send their Kleber into B, where he's probably going to die rapidly. And they have 30 seconds to do it, so they need to do it now, because this this Ohio is not dying anytime soon. And it doesn't look like the Kleber is going to get there, so 15 seconds until we're going to be heading to a Game 5 decider. Somebody queue up Silver Scrapes. RESIN taking Game 4. RESIN saying they will not go quietly into the night. They are, in fact, going to take us to the Game 5. Game 5 going to be taking place on Hotspot. For the final game of King of the Sea 18. Both teams fighting for a total of $7,500. Losing walking away with $5,000. So $2,500 on the line in this game alone. They're all to play for here on Hotspot. This is the final we all deserve for Game 5 decider. The final game of King of the Sea. Taking it down to the wire. Even if there's a third place game until we rolled over the final like we usually do. So look in the training room. Yeah, switch sides of the teams. Could take a little while because the training room is slightly buggy when we have like a million people in spectator. Warm my hands up. Very chilly. One more game. One game to rule them all. One game to find them, and in the darkness bind them. Still waiting for the map to be switched in the training room. We are supposed to be going over a hotspot. Bees to Honey. Which is the name of the replay files on Hotspot if you ever looked in replay directory. Some funny Easter eggs in there. The original names of half the maps. Which, if you listen closely, you might find a reference to as we go into the map intro video.
Amidst the treacherous islands and turbulent waters of the South Pacific lies an archipelago that will soon become the stage for an epic confrontation between enemy fleets. These scenic islands will reverberate with the clashing of steel and the roar of naval artillery that can only be matched by the volcano that looms over the area. This is Hotspot. Hotspot is a 48 by 48 kilometer domination-style map with 4 cap points running from west to east. The A and B cap are on the left, C is in the center, and D is on the right. In this setting, the spawn points for the teams have been moved from a central position to a position located on the 7-8 line. Cap A and B on the left will provide a challenge for even the most skilled of teams. While an island provides for an easy ability to take one's home cap, the small amount of water that separates the caps enables the smallest misstep to be massively exploited. Teams that lose a ship out here will quickly find themselves fighting for only half the map. In the center, Cap C provides a variety of ways in and out for ships and can draw in a destroyer player like bees to honey. However, the 4 islands surrounding the cap provide a multitude of ways for a radar cruiser to ambush an unsuspecting DD. Cap D on the right provides a new and unique experience for teams. Moved from within the islands to the west, The D cap now has no island cover. Teams will have to execute any plays for the cap with an extreme amount of caution, as once lost, the cap will be a significant challenge to retake. 18 ships, 2 teams, 1 victor. It's time to play Hotspot.
1 victor, unless we get another draw, in which case, God knows what happens at that point. Oh, please, give us a fucking draw in this game. I would love it. Oh, can you imagine the carnage? I want to see if they've had a rule update yet. For what's the new rule for well, we are preparing. I don't see any updates on the rule set, by the way, about draws, so that could be fun if we get one. We won't, but imagine. Imagine. Final game of King of the Sea, preparing. Once again, teams fighting for $7,500 in this 3rd place game. As we saw the other series, TWA did win the grand prize of $25,000. ARIS taking home 2nd place of $12,500 in single elimination format, meaning other teams such as RESIN were not able to advance to the grand finals, even through a loser's bracket, as we did not have one this time around. Instead, we have a top 4 of EU, Asia, NA, and China for the first time ever, one of each team advancing to the semi-finals. The first time ever we had a draw in King of the Sea as well, and what was a fantastic game between TWA and RESIN yesterday. As you see, players readying up for the final time here in King of the Sea 18. RESIN, all players are ready. The remaining players of CL readying themselves up. Getting ready to go into Hotspot for final game of the day. Final game of the series, final game of the tournament. As one of them fucks off back into the fucking port to go get his command of respect or something like that. Both teams are ready. As for the final time in King of the Sea 18, we prepare to drop ourselves in. Good luck, have fun. As here we go. Final game of King of the C18 is underway between CL and RESIN. CL representing China, RESIN representing North America, battling for $7,500 in third place. CL in green in the north of the spawn, going to be running Montana, Siber, Des Moines, Moskva, Prince on Orange, Summers, Khabarovsk, Delny, and Daring. RESIN in red in the southern spawn, going to be running Colombo, Laria, Des Moines, Moskva, Gearing, Kleber. And hopefully you all got your Christopher Colombo camouflage drop mission by watching. If not, there's still a tiny bit of time as we go through the rest of this game. Let's take a look at the builds for the final time. Green team first, as always. Green team, Daring for CL, going to be running Dazzle RPF. Delny is going to be running Concealment, Superintendent, Heal, and RPF. We have the Khabarovsk running AFT, Fearless Brawler, Legendary Module, no Concealment. We've got Summers running Superintendent RPF, Flooding Chance, and Consumable Reload and Cooldown. We have the Moskva, Top Grade Gunner on the no Top Grade, sorry. RPF on the Legendary Module. We got the Prince Van Orange there with Airstrike skill, but Prop Mod in slot 4, taking down Militia Expert. Des Moines, Reload Mod, Top Grade Gunner, Superintendent, no Leg Mod. I think we might be, no, I thought we haven't restocked for a second there. Sipper there, not taking secondaries. First Sipper I've not seen taking secondary build. And then we have the Montana. Shift and Silence, Turret Traverse, all that stuff. Meanwhile, red team, RESIN. Kleber here, Fearless Brawler, BFT. The gearing here is Legendary Module, RPF, Shift and Silence, Moskva. Top Grade Gunner, Legendary Module, Superintendent. Des Moines, Leg Mod, Top Grade, Superintendent. Colombo, Swift and Silence, Range Mod, Colombo. Okay. Kleber here, Fearless, RPF. Gearing, Leg Mod, RPF, Swift and Silence. Lauria, Reload Mod, Tank. And Des Moines with that Leg Mod and Top Grade Gunner. Taking a look at our initial deployments for the final game. Heading over to A, we have the Delny. We have Daring smoking the Moskva into position, but the Moskva is already spotted. Daring will be contesting Charlie, Moskva will be following radar control, Montana will be in support of them. Siba is going to be joining up with his Summers and Des Moines, who will have a smoke radar combination. Kaba will be there to farm. Prince on Orange will be there to spam airstrikes at this position. Red team deployment, setting over the A, we have Kleber going for the early one. Then we have Gearing and Des Moines that will be pairing up as a smoke radar combination for that push, along with the Lauria. Colombo is going to be supporting the Moskva, manning the radar island. The Kleber went for the early cap, and then we have Gearing, Des Moines, a smoke radar combination. So let's go dive in as we see the shelling has already commenced as this Moskva is being hammered. Kleber, RESIN has already taken the Delta cap. As the damage is raining in on this Moskva already. Summer is going to be dropping down that smoke for the Des Moines. He wants to get joined in on the farming. Gearing for RESIN is going to be dropping down his smoke. As this Moskva is being hammered already. Meanwhile, Daring going to be contesting Charlie. No contest on that. So CL should be taking that for completely free. As this RESIN Moskva tries to reverse his way out of danger. Daring does indeed take that Charlie cap. This Moskva just can't get a break here, can he? Still spotted by the Summers up there as the Des Moines raining down on the broadside. Just be very careful he doesn't over-angle at that. Takes a fire. DCP not available. Double fire. Potential for the RESIN Moskva to go down, but I think he has just enough health to survive this right now as long as he doesn't take a third fire. DCP goes up. He's alive. He's alive. Still, more shells coming in, though. Radar comes out from the Des Moines. Doesn't find anything, though. As long-range salvos coming in at the back end of this Moskva. Might be able to finish him off. Just missing as Mebok survives with 700 HP. RESIN narrowly avoiding giving away first blood there as torpedoes flood into the smoke screen. Everything going to be dodged quite nicely, though. As the CL push is, well, starting up. Need to be careful with this, as there is a Colombo waiting there. The herring was briefly spotted. Moskva now lit by the CL Moskva's radar. Should be the final time he goes down now, since he can't really get out of this. Airstrikes will be coming in now. There should be another salvo coming from the battleships. Montana salvo, yeah. This might be first blood going over to CL here. The Moskva tries desperately to dodge everything in the world. It's still lit by the CL Moskva radar. CL Moskva now has shots of his own. Actually, they're going into the island. He's still alive for now. But CL will be taking the Delta cap with their Sibber. Put it at 3 caps to 1 as RESIN make their push around Alpha with their Des Moines, Gearing, Kleber, and Laria. Meva gets dark once again, surviving. Back up to 12,000 HP. A lot better than 700. Five minutes on the clock for RESIN to take one of these caps. As they do get themselves nuzzled into Alpha. Let's start ticking on that progress. A lot of damage coming into onto Montana from this smoke screen. Des Moines happily farming away on that. RESIN's Kleber going to be blocking Charlie temporarily, but he's going to be shelled and probably forced out of there. As we see, the Sibber is cutting through the island chain, and Montana long-range salvos coming towards him. He's going to be making his way towards the island to try and block vision of that daring. But he needs to be careful because there's a CL Moskva still there. RESIN's Moskva, now Mebuk here, getting himself exposed. Has reversed a little bit far. There isn't Moskva still waiting there, remember. But now the Des Moines and Princeton Orange are going to be farming him from the smoke here. They are radared currently by the Des Moines. As we see a big Colombo salvo landing on that Des Moines. Still trying to work over the rest of this Moskva who refuses to die. Mebuk finally going down to an Princeton Orange airstrike. Back over at Charlie, we see that the Kleber has been joined by a secondary Kleber. Not a Kleber running secondary, he's just a second Kleber. As they're going to be contesting Charlie, hoping to wrest that away as they have taken Alpha Cap. Mad Dog going to be nuzzling behind the island, just trying not to explode anytime soon. Radar from CL Moskva keeping him lit. Delny shelling it from long range. But they are blocking the point income on that cap, and that is allowing them to catch up on the points using the 2 caps that they have, both home caps. Mad Dog now being forced out of there as he's no longer feeling safe. They are going to be opening him on the Daring. The Daring's just going to drop his smoke. The RESIN push continues into the CL spawn area. Des Moines and Gearing along with Laria. Going to be finding the back end of this Delny. Going to be hard to do damage to him at that range though, because Des Moines dispersion at that range is, well, floaty shells. Meanwhile, CL push going further and further into the spawn of RESIN. The Des Moines, Summers, and Princeton Orange. Summers with 2 smokes remaining. Very low on HP though. Can't really take another Des Moines radar at the face. You see the RESIN smoke radar combination being laid down once again with a torpedo wall inbound for it. Gearing dodges between, and the Des Moines also dodging in between quite happily. Start working over that Montana, forcing him back, getting a little bit of ground, giving them access to the north of C to hold that with the radar of that Des Moines. Once they can get one of the destroyers in there to contest it. Speaking of radars from Des Moines, that Summers is once again lit. a lot of torpedoes inbound as well. Des Moines salvos to the face of that Summers. Are they going to be able to take them down? Big hit into the Des Moines. Gearing going to be opening up. Eagle lands. Shells in for the battleships. Summers gets dark. Still some shells coming in. Summers survives once again. Unless... yeah, Summers survives once again. You will have one more smoke to push into that spawn. And Des Moines now having to run away. The Gearing trying to cut across the back of him to drop that smoke down. Long-range battleship salvos coming in. Des Moines will get smoked up. He is taking a fire. DCP not available. He's going to burn for a bit, but he's not going to die. He takes a second fire here. Blind fire coming in. This Des Moines could potentially go down. He might have DCP available in time to get rid of the fire. He should survive this. As we see, the Gearing got caught within Des Moines radar. He's going to be forced back as well. Back over to Charlie. We see the Kleber has once again parked up behind this rock. This time it's a different Kleber for RESIN. Sending in Triarch. Currently RESIN in the lead. But only while they block this cap. If they get forced back out of Charlie, they will no longer be in the lead. If their Des Moines goes down, they will no longer be in the lead. The Des Moines starts running his heel. Gearing torpedoes cutting across the Prince of Orange, not going to find. As you see, the Des Moines are going to be opening up on each other. This could be the death of the RESIN Des Moines. This will be the death of the RESIN Des Moines. But can RESIN take anything in return? The salvo's coming out into the CL Des Moines. Is there going to be a Colombo salvo? CL's Des Moines is very low. Kleber opening up with a reload booster. Can they get the Des Moines kill? Des Moines still lit. Des Moines opening up. Des Moines going to steal it. Colombo salvo coming in. Summers reversing back to smoke up the Des Moines. There's a potential for collateral damage here. Shells landing on the Des Moines and the Summers. Both of them surviving. As the Gearing and Kleber are pressured away. Colombo 2. Meanwhile, back over at Charlie. RESIN still blocking that cap, holding it for dear life. Montana getting low there as well. Daring entering Charlie as well to try and deny this. RESIN are still holding that cap and blocking it. And this is a good game 5. Back over to the Sabre and Summers and Des Moines. Gearing flooding torpedoes in towards that smoke screen. As the Daring will be leaving Charlie, allowing the Kleber to start taking points towards it. Khabarovsk is going around the back end of that Kleber looking to find him. Nobody's really in a position to deny it. The radar comes out from the Moskva, and now the Khabarovsk can freeform on that Kleber, and there's nobody that's going to be able to stop that. Montana salvo in towards the Kleber. Kleber going to be opening up on the Kaba. And this Kleber is the complete anchor. This is RESIN's only chance of winning this game, is holding this cap. Reload booster going down. As the Summers CL tops out the RESIN Gearing. Kleber RESIN now going to be opening on the double Kleber onto the Khabarovsk here. This Khabarovsk could go down. Khabarovsk could go down. Kleber AP into the broadside of that Kaba. It's missing. Khabarovsk goes down. RESIN back in the lead with this block, but the Daring's coming around the front end of this Kleber now. As the Montana for CL finally goes down as well. RESIN now up 935 points to 850, but we're about to see Daring on Kleber here. Des Moines going to get involved in this too. Kleber should be going down here, but that's no longer going to have the block. RESIN no longer blocking points. 901 to 893. 1 minute left on the clock. Daring smokes up. Is balanced on a knife edge. Just could go either way. 913 to 905. The Mind Reader comes out looking for that Daring.
The enemy is about to win.
It's all down to how much damage to get on this Daring. Whether the Gearing and the Des Moines, either of them can get into back into Charlie to contest this. They're not going to get this kill. Is there any other kills available?
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
48 seconds. They need to block the cap for 4 seconds. They need to get in for 4 seconds alone. If RESIN manage to get into Charlie for 4 seconds, they will win this game as long as they don't lose a ship. So Des Moines or Gearing. Des Moines or Gearing. If either of them get into Charlie for 4 seconds, RESIN will be in the lead. Gearing drops his smoke. Moskva, radar available. RESIN don't have a choice. They have to go into this cap. As the Daring gets relit, as the Kleber comes around the corner. CL's Daring gonna go down? CL's Daring goes down. RESIN take the game. RESIN will walk home as the 3rd place. And one hell of a deciding game. Congratulations, RESIN. That's the kind of final that we deserved. And that will be the conclusion of King of the Sea 18.